China and Russia had taken another step closer towards dumping the dollar and agreed to trade in their respective national currencies, the Russian ruble and the Chinese yuan.
Hi everyone. US dollars have been the most influential and the most powerful currency for last long 80 years. Now, if you have seen our last episode by now, I'm sure you know how US dollars have become so much powerful and so influential. So now the question is, with their power and dominance, US dollars not only manipulates small economies but also use their dominance over large economies like Russia and China. So this is where our second episode begins. Russia and China have joined hands to kill this dominance of US dollars. Now, if you see, in the last 20 years, we can see that their strategies are working quite well, because in last 20 years, in the global reserve currencies, US dollars share has gone down 20%. So if their strategy works out, even in the future, then we can see the rise of another currency in the global reserves like yuan or in the form of ruble. So now the question is, what are their strategies and how they can dethrone the US dollars? And lastly, what challenges the yuan and ruble will face? Now let's look at their strategies first. Russia is one of the largest oil and gas producers in the world and the top exporter of oil and gas in Europe. So now Russia has told all its unfriendly countries to trade their oil and gas in ruble. What this means is, in the payment network system, earlier what we have seen is how all the other countries are keeping their excess forex reserve in US, in the US central bank, and how US is investing in their bonds and in their infrastructure in their inside business. Similarly now, Russian central bank can create a forex of ruble and can use it in their economy to boost their economy. So this is how Russia is using their leverage over all the other European countries to kill the dollar dominance. Now what China can do is, China with their Belt and Road initiative, where they have got 165 countries, and this whole initiative is worth $3 trillion. Now these 165 countries have a collective total debt of $385 billion with China. Now imagine countries who have taken the major sum of this loan, countries like Pakistan, Sri Lanka and others. China is asking them to pay back in yuan and China will incentivize them in 1%. Countries like Pakistan who have taken $24.7 billion worth of loan from China, if they are given an incentive of 1% on the interest, there is a huge big sum. So these are small countries and small economies. Now the question remains, so if China needs to get UK and Korea and such other economies to use yuan, how can they do it? So this is where the bilateral currency swap agreement comes in. So let's first give a small story to understand what is bilateral currency swap agreement. For an example, China and UK have agreed to give each other $1 million worth of pound and yuan. So for that purpose, China will give 68.42 million yuan to UK and UK will give 847,000 pounds to China. And they will agree the exchange rate to be 8.07% for the next 5 years. Now, China can use all these pounds to either convert them into dollars or use them internally for their internal business purpose. Imagine UK একজন বিজনেসম্যানের £1 মিলিয়ন চাইনিজ গুডস কিনতে হবে। তো সে তার ইউকের ব্যাংকে যেত, ইউকের ব্যাংক তখন তার যে শাখাটা ইউএসএতে আছে সেখানে সেই পাউন্ডটা ডলারে কনভার্ট করতো। ইউএসএ সেই ডলারটা তখন চাইনিজ যেই অ্যাকাউন্টটা আছে ইউএসএতে সেখানে সেই ডলারটা কনভার্ট হয়ে ইউয়ান হতো, সেই ইউয়ানটা তখন চাইনিজ বিজনেসম্যান চায়না থেকে নিত। নাও আন্ডার দিস কারেন্সি সোয়াপ এগ্রিমেন্ট, ইউকের বিজনেসম্যান তার ইউকে ব্যাংক অ্যাকাউন্টে যে ইনস্ট্রাকশনটা দিলেই সাথে সাথে চাইনিজ যে অ্যাকাউন্টটা ইউকেতে আছে সেখানে সেটা স্থানান্তরিত হবে অ্যান্ড চাইনিজ বিজনেসম্যান চায়না থেকে সেই ইউয়ানটা পেয়ে যাবে। এতে সময় বাঁচবে, ডলারের ইউসেজ কমবে অ্যান্ড অন দি আদার হ্যান্ড দ্য ট্রেড বিটুইন চায়না অ্যান্ড ইউকে উইল গ্রো। সো দিস bilateral currency swap agreement is being now used by more than 40 countries including UK, Singapore, Hong Kong and Korea. So guys, you can imagine how the China is already using its trade leverage to kill the dollar dominance and increase its use of yuan. Now, cherry on the cake is China is the largest manufacturer of the world. And with that power, they can also further leverage the other countries to start doing more trade in yuan. Now, the biggest challenge for China will remain to build trust over its currency. There has been speculation of China's valuation of their currency and lots of other such matters. So if China can build a good trust over their currency, then it can continue to rise and become a very influential currency. So the viewers might wonder why CorpAid is bringing such matters to their content. Guys, this is very important for all our youngsters and everyone who's joining the professional world to know such matters, because it does not matter if you are doing a business or you are going to join any corporation, you need to know the current affairs and what is going around. This will only make you more mature and a better professional.